Now, before I tell you why I put 50% of my salary to cryptocurrency, I have to tell you 3 things first. First, I'm bullish on cryptocurrency not because of FOMO, aka fear of missing out. I started investing in crypto back in 2017, so I have experienced the 3 years long bear market. I know what I'm doing. I know how bad it can be when things goes wrong. It's not impulsive buying. Second, disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I'm buying heaps doesn't mean you should as well. Make sure you do your investigation and due diligence before you invest. And thirdly, my channel is mainly about personal development for young working professionals. So this is not what I usually talk about. But hey, we work hard because we want to make more money, right? So surely you wouldn't mind hearing my investing strategy. If you want me to talk more about cryptocurrency or investing in general, definitely leave a comment below and let me know. Now, investing 50% of your salary is a relatively aggressive move to most people, let alone investing in crypto market, which is arguably the most volatile market on earth. I don't recommend people to follow me, especially for those who are risk averse or living paycheck by paycheck. I do this because I have faith in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general, and I have done my risk management. I have already set my emergency fund aside, and I only spend about 20 to 30% of my salary on living expenses. I'm in a comfortable position to invest that amount of money, and even at the very worst case scenario where I lost everything, it hurts for sure, but my life won't crumble just because of that. Now, everyone has their magic ratio for investing how much of their income, and mine is 50%. It's definitely a significant amount to me. And here comes another question. Why am I so bullish on cryptocurrency? Is it going to the moon this year? Well, no one can say for sure, but as I learn more and see what happened in the world, I'm inclined to believe cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, has its space. It's definitely not going anywhere else. Before I elaborate on that statement, I want to state a fact here. Many people are skeptical about cryptocurrency. They see Bitcoin as some random digital currency that came from nowhere. It's just another tulip mania. Once the hype is over, it will be dead. I mean, it's okay to not believe in crypto, and it's not for everyone. I respect that. But a lot of people just say it's a scam without trying to understand cryptocurrency or the blockchain technology. They don't know why it exists or what kind of problem it's trying to solve in the first place. I don't think it's fair. In fact, if you don't have an open mind, you can be missing out heaps. In this video, I'm going to explain why I'm bullish on crypto. If you don't know much about cryptocurrency and considering getting into the market, keep watching because you might find something helpful. Before I go into the details, I want to briefly talk about the characteristics of Bitcoin, so I can elaborate my thought later based on those facts. Now, there are 2 main characteristics that you should know about Bitcoin as an investor, and they are decentralization and scarce. Let's talk about decentralization. The main purpose of Bitcoin is to create a digital cash system that removes the third party. In a nutshell, that means you can pay others securely without using government-issued money. And that's where the term decentralization comes from. It's revolutionary for sure, but the question is, why do we want to do that? What's wrong with having a regulated system, an authorized entity to handle the transactions? I'm not going to go into the details, but it can all summarize in one word: distrust. It was created right after the financial crisis in 2008. Back then, people starting to lose faith about the traditional financial system. If there's a centralized entity, there's always a risk of manipulation. For example, you have no idea what the bank do with your money. And you can't tell if the bank is not sharing your info with others. Even if they have a strict protocol, what if they have been hacked? And another problem Bitcoin is trying to solve is inflation. You may have noticed your money's purchase power goes down year by year. Inflation is always a problem, and it will be an even bigger concern after COVID because the US government is printing more and more money. That's why we need to find ways to hedge, and Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is a good place to go. By design, there is a hard cap of 21 million Bitcoins. No one can change it, and as time goes, halving will take place. You can mine fewer and fewer, and that makes it even rarer. Since the characteristic of Bitcoin is very similar to gold, that's why people refer that as the digital gold. So those facts of Bitcoin are already well known to many. Chances are you know these facts as well. But so what? Why it leads me to the decision of buying more cryptocurrency? Instead of me justifying further, I think it would be a better idea for me to answer the criticism from the non-believers. It will give us a better thinking process and you may be inspired by it.
It is just a bubble.
Well, it's quite a common one. People like to say cryptocurrency is another tulip mania. It's a bubble that will burst eventually. Now, there are lots of people thinking cryptocurrency is a way to make quick bucks. They probably don't care much about the background of crypto as long as it goes to the moon. Well, nothing's wrong there, but we can't deny that there is a hype associated to it, so that they drive up the prices and eventually to a point where it becomes overpriced and later on it will just crashed. It happened a few times already where the value of it dropped more than 80%. But does that mean cryptocurrency is a bubble? I highly doubt so. The main difference between cryptocurrency and tulip is crypto is there to fix some certain problems. More and more people see value in it. That's why even people claim it's dead more than 300 times in the last decade. Even it crashed a few times already. It bounced back and even higher than the last all-time high. Will it last forever? Will the pattern keep on repeating itself? It's hard to tell because all is speculative, but seeing this revive a few times and more use cases are discovered, I think it's here to stay.
It's not regular currency. What if the government banned it?
This is another concern that the non-believers of crypto bring up all the time. Sure, they are not legal tender. Nothing backed them up. And some countries already banned Bitcoin already. What if more countries are banning it? And I'm going to answer those concerns one by one. Well, first of all, who cares if it's not legal tender when a transaction is made, as long as we both agree on the terms. It's like trading cards. I'm trading your card A with my card B. Even though money is involved, a transaction has happened. And I've been to a few restaurants that accept Bitcoin as payment. As long as both parties are happy, I don't see anything wrong with it. Another more valid concern would be government banning cryptocurrency. Now, if it happened a few years ago, then yes, it is a worry, but now it's getting too big to ban. At the time of making this video, the market cap of crypto is slightly more than 1.5 trillion. US government definitely have thought of that, but they realize it's too hard to execute. Another thing is we need to see things from both sides. Sure, there are countries banning Bitcoin, but there are countries like Japan that embraces this new technology. Not to mention, there are more and more large entities purchase cryptocurrency, so it's definitely on its way to mass adoption, and it'll just become a lot harder to ban in the future.
What if everyone stops seeing value in Bitcoin?
Well, when I said Bitcoin is scarce earlier, you might think, what's the big deal? Something's rare doesn't mean they are valuable. Well, my hair is somewhat scarce, right? Because only I can grow my hair. And I'm losing hair as well, but let's not talk about it. And another thing is the technology in Bitcoin is so old-fashioned compared to other cryptocurrencies, such as Ethereum. What if they create another Bitcoin and replace it? Now, okay, remember what I said earlier. Bitcoin is known as the digital gold. It pretty much has all the characteristics of gold except it's not tangible. Let's think of it this way. Why is gold so valuable? Apart from it being ductile and pretty, which is great for making jewelry, what's so good about it? It's never the most useful metal on earth. It's not as conductive as silver. It's soft and it can be stretched by fingernails. It's valuable not because of its functionality, but we humans had a long history of perceiving gold as something valuable. There are lots of sentimental value in it. Now, Bitcoin is only a decade old and is hard to find the relevance, but in many people's eye, it represents cryptocurrency as a whole. Even though it's not the most practical coin in the market by far, People associate sentimental value with it. That's why it's not going anywhere. The idea applies to every digital currency. As long as the asset is unique or has been around for a reasonably long time, people will attach to it, and it's not something that you can replace easily.
Now it's too far away from mass adoption.
This is also another argument that people like to bring up. They claim the technology is not scalable, it's slow, and the transaction fee is expensive. Not to mention the price is so unstable. It's not realistic to use it in daily lives. Well, to be honest, I agree that it's still a very long way to mass adoption, and I doubt they can replace fiat fully, at least not in the next couple of decades. But I still see a future in crypto. As technology evolves, the usability of crypto will also improve. Many problems have already been resolved throughout the years. The most recent breakthrough would be introducing the concept of proof of stake, which is a different or better way to validate blocks. Once it's proven working, it's quite likely to fix the scalability problem and may no longer require lots of energy to maintain the network as well. And as for the price fluctuation, I'm not too worried. I think right now Bitcoin is more like an asset than a currency that's used on a day-to-day basis. And it's totally fine. And in fact, it's better because that way we can ensure the value of the coin appreciates. In summary, I see lots of potential in cryptocurrency because there are more and more use cases are discovered, such as DeFi and NFT. And seeing the current economic condition, I think it's a smart move to invest in cryptocurrency regardless. People have prejudice against crypto mostly because they don't understand. But as I've pointed out, they are most likely going to stay for a long period of time. It's more than just a random currency. Of course, all is speculative. I could be wrong, but I'm willing to bet heavily on this because I truly believe cryptocurrency will have a bright future. And I hope you find this helpful after watching this video. If you're eager to get started, try put in a small amount of money and see the market dynamic yourself first. And always remember to do your homework before you buy. And again, my name is Keith, so I'm here to help the young working professionals to live their best lives. If you find my content helpful, be sure to like and subscribe to me. I promise you get lots of value from me and see yourself changing for good. That's pretty much it. See you next week. Signing off.